Ladies and gentlemen, don't kill the messenger, but it appears that on the heels of Friday's job report, Republican senators are pushing back on the idea for additional stimulus checks, more funding for economic injury disaster loans. In this video, we'll get into the details of what these GOP senators said on Friday. And watch this video until the end, and I'll tell you what both Republicans and Democrats are considering as a replacement for direct payments or a second round of stimulus checks to all Americans. And full disclosure, I am completely nonpartisan. I am not affiliated with any political party. Nonetheless, I have worked with people on both sides of the aisle. To me, no one is either red or blue. We are all red, white, and blue. I'm just reporting what these people say. First off, you know about the job reports. The unemployment rate dropped from April's number of 14.7% to an unemployment rate of 13.3% in May of 2020. They're just giving more firepower to senators who were already thinking about not even trying to pass additional stimulus. They just want to get people back to work. They just want to open the country. Senate Finance Chairman Chuck Grassley, Republican senator from Iowa, he stated the following: "The jobs report underscores why Congress should take a thoughtful approach and not rush to pass expensive legislation paid for with more debt before gaining a better understanding of the economic condition of the country." Excuse me. This is a statement that he released on Friday. Keep in mind that his panel, it has jurisdiction over tax policy, health care, and other pandemic-related assistance. He also stated that it may be too early to tell whether now is the perfect time to work on any additional legislation. You need to remember that direct payments to Americans, a second round of stimulus checks, and $10 billion of funding for economic injury disaster loans. It was about $400 billion for a second round of stimulus checks, was packaged in the HEROES Act that the House passed last month. Nonetheless, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell labeled it as a liberal wish list, that they fluffed it up with too many things that were not pandemic related, and they were just trying to throw in as much as they can. But it appears as if, for some reason, like for instance with the business loans and with the stimulus checks, it's like the business loans, first off, the Democrats and the Republicans are taking sides. It's like the Democrats, they're always fighting for economic injury disaster loans. They grouped together and they collaboratively sent a complaint out to the SBA telling Javita Carranza, slamming her because they were supposed to, because Congress' intent was supposedly to have the SBA send $10,000 grants as opposed to $1,000 per employee, while Republicans and the Trump administration, members of the Trump administration, are always boasting about the huge success of the Paycheck Protection Program loan. If you even perform a query for EIDL on Donald Trump's Twitter handle, you will find no tweets whatsoever. Nonetheless, you perform a query for Paycheck Protection Program loan, you see dozens of tweets, a countless amount of tweets where he's boasting of the success of Paycheck Protection Program loan. And now when they're talking, through their talks, their interviews, they keep on stating how their relief package, mainly the Paycheck Protection Program loan, has helped increase these numbers, has helped drop the unemployment rate. Today, Larry Kudlow, the National Economic Council director, Trump's chief advisor, stated that he was going to push for what the president wanted, which was basically more payroll tax cuts, deductions for people when they would attend athletic events and restaurants and such, and also capital gains cuts, which is basically tax that you incur, for instance, when you take profits after you sell stock or you sell a home. So people who are not invested in stocks or homes, they won't benefit from this. So the exact words he said is that he was aiming towards more of a incentive package for long-term growth as opposed to a rescue package, which can be safely classified as what falls under stimulus checks and economic injury disaster loans, because economic injury disaster loans also include a forgivable grant. And as I told you before, no Republicans and nobody in the administration is boasting about economic injury disaster loans or what kind of success that is having. In fact, there's a delay in disbursements right now because they're using a portal that is operated by a subsidiary of Rocket Loans, Rapid Finance, which is why a number of people haven't gotten their deposits for the economic injury disaster loan as yet. And as I noted on one of my previous videos, the SBA paid $500 million to a company called RER Solutions, a Virginia-based government contractor, in order to process economic injury disaster loans. And they basically offloaded that work to Rocket Loans. And Dan Gilbert, the founder of Rocket Loans, he donated $750,000 to President Donald Trump's presidential inauguration. So you kind of see where things are going. And now there's a delay in the processing right there. So they've always frowned on it. I basically theorized in one of my previous videos, and I'm correct, because basically the SBA is in the executive administration, is in the executive branch of government. President Donald Trump is the boss of the executive branch. So if they only wanted to give out $1,000 per employee as opposed to the $10,000 grant, then that came directly from the top. Kimberly S. Butler and Javita Carranza, they're not going to make that move unless President Donald Trump endorsed it. That said, it's looking very bleak right now for stimulus checks, more funding for economic injury disaster loans. I'm not sure where they're getting at. At the very least, they want to waste as much time as possible. In fact, I'll just go ahead and read Mitch McConnell's statement in regards to passing additional stimulus. He called it a liberal wish list. That was the HEROES Act. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell stated the following: "We must keep the winds in our sails, not slam the brakes with left-wing policies that would make rehiring even harder and recovery even more challenging." So plans such as the $450 bonus to get people working again, that may be along the lines of what we may see as additional stimulus, as opposed to direct payments or anything that Republicans may classify as a rescue package. And as you can see, they have all the power right now. Republican-run Senate, Republican-run executive branch of government. The finance panel, chaired by Grassley, they're going to meet next Tuesday to discuss whether they want to extend the $600 weekly payment to people on unemployment insurance that the federal government is funding. That'll be the next move. They look like they are considering a plan. The White House reported to the Wall Street Journal that they're considering a plan to pay anywhere from $250 to $300. Nonetheless, even that looks iffy because the Congressional Budget Office reported yesterday that if these benefits were extended, that employment will be lower if they didn't extend it. In other words, it'd be better to just cut it off to ensure that employment keeps increasing. As promised, what both Republicans and Democrats are considering as a replacement to a second round of stimulus checks is a $1,200 tax rebate for all eligible adults. That may not be the best news, but I just want to deliver the unadulterated truth, as brutal as that may be. So you know everything for which you have to plan. So let me know what you think. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Watch this video right here for more stimulus coverage. Click the like button if you like the video. Click subscribe to stay on top of my findings. I will do my best to report what other people won't. Talk soon.